Hey y'all.
Hi.
Hi.
I am so excited that we have Ray from PC Rewind here filling in on I feel really like important to have like all these really important guest hosts filling in for Sandra. It's like Sandra can't be here, but we have Ray from PC Rewind. Thank you.
You're
People
so kind.
becoming guests with us. Thank you.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It's exciting for me to see people who do other podcasts because as Tracy often um, says, I'm not necessarily online. I'm not necessarily part of the whole TV and entertainment world all the time. So to be able to see other people and see, experience other co-hosts who talk about GH is as great as a joy because I don't necessarily experience that all the time. So thank you for coming and joining and watching our show even because we're so young and you guys have been doing this for a while. I don't know actually, but I'm assuming you've done this for a while and you're welcoming us newbies. So appreciate you. Yay.
Thank you. We're newer than you guys are.
Oh.
And I like one of the reasons we started because like you guys have made GH like more enjoyable for us to watch. And we're like, we can do this, you guys. We should do something like this. So yeah,
Hey,
thank you guys for having me.
thank you for saying that.
How is your week going? How was y'all weeks? Look, I'm dropping stuff.
um shenanigans. For those of you who don't know, there's an election happening November 8th, and the Bay Area organizations are doing all kinds of endorsement meetings. And in Oakland, there's a big mayoral race because we're getting rid of our old mayor. She's termed out. And so now we're getting a new mayor and just shenanigans all through the week. It's just, I always say, I mean, Oakland politics should be on TV because the stuff that they be doing is just crazy. And it's a large city and it's very notorious across the US. So I think people would tune in. But so just to let you know, I'm experiencing shenanigans every which way. And so it was really great. I want to talk a little bit about Woman King, which came out this weekend, and I saw it. And no matter what your feelings about the topic, being able to see Black women, powerful Black women who take ownership of their autonomy, of their physicality, and of their power was so great for me to see. It helped, encourage me. And we should be encouraged as Black women because we are strong, we're gorgeous, we're beautiful, we can do anything. And that movie just kind of reinforced it for me. And so it made me just feel better and taking ownership of the power that I have, be able to speak up for myself and not let, people try to run all over me and all this other stuff. That was really great for me to be able to watch. So if you can watch it, I strongly encourage you to do so. I want to be Lashana Lynch. I can't say when I grow up because she's actually younger than me, so I still just want to be her because she's amazing. She's beautiful, gorgeous, and I love her in all the movies she's in. Not just this movie,
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Marvel and Bond and all the other stuff. Love her. So yeah,
she's gorgeous. I have not seen it yet. I'm like very squeamish about going to the theater still with COVID. I actually get my booster this week. And so I think I'm gonna see it after that. But I am really excited to see it. Kerry Washington actually bought out a theater in Oakland today. Yeah, it's like 3. It's 1 o'clock. But yeah, so it's like Jack London. She bought out Jack London. At
Jack London. That's a good one. That's a Black one. The Black one.
And then I've been like looking at John Boyega's press tour about it, and I saw that he caught a little bit of flack because he said he, preferred Black women, and I thought that was like interesting.
He caught flack by saying I prefer Black women.
It was like compare. You know how they do like the false comparisons, like, well, if I said it, it'd be racist. Yes, yes, it would. Thank you for noticing. Actually, yes, it would. And if you don't have time to like talk about the historical context as to like what the difference between like preferences are, I don't know what to say. I don't have time for it. So shout out to John Boyega, who has been like consistent about this for a long time, actually. Um, and like has really spoke out. I appreciate the way he speaks out about representation in a real way, which is like, don't just show up and like insert me in something, like let me be like the hero. So I mean, obviously I'm a Star Wars fan. Tanya's a Star Wars fan. We talk about it all the time. Shout out to, I'm very excited for this week, actually. Yes, Disney Plus. Um, I was like really excited when I first saw the poster for Force Awakens. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have a black Jedi! I can't believe it. A black dude's gonna have the Force. And then I got to the theater and I was like, oh, this is it. This, oh, yeah. So. And like Ray and I think that we originally bonded over I was comparing Sprina to West Allen from the Flash. And
Yes.
specifically not really Sprina, but the way that Nicholas like rides for, at the time it was Sydney, and how Grant didn't do that for Candace at the beginning. And like what her experience was because of that with the interracial couple. And I just think that like, I know that people think that there are other like blueprints couples or whatever, but I think when I think about who to thank for being able to have a couple like Sprina, I think about Candace Patton, who like opened that door to like saying, not only am I here, but you're about to respect me and hear me. And so anyway, I appreciate the way they speak about representation, and I know we're going to talk more about that during this episode specifically. But it's just not, you can't just toss me in. You actually have to make me a full character, and I really appreciate that.
Same. My week was good. A lot of adulting, and adulting is ghetto. So today I'm like a nerd at heart. So I was trying to find something nerdy to watch this weekend, and I'm like caught up in all my nerd stuff. So I started watching like Winx. It was a choice I made.
What is Winx?
It's like Winx. It's like a cartoon. When I was growing up, it was like a cartoon with like fairies and stuff, and they made like a darker adaptation on Netflix.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, it's either that or like Vampire Academy, I think. And that's a Julie Plec, and I don't trust her. So it was a choice I made. I can't say if I regret it or not. But we're here.
No regrets.
Other movies I watched The Mummy. I don't know why it was rerunning on TBS, but I watched it again. And I also watched Blended, and I don't know if you've heard of that. It's with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore have been in movies for as long as I can remember. They've done movies together, and they had one last one. I think it was in 2014, and I had not seen it. Oh my God, I was guffawing, laughing so hard. It's the silliest, the most not really consequential movie. Like, it's not going to get an Emmy, it's not going to get an Oscar, it's not going to get anything. But it was hilarious for something that happened in 2014. And I was cracking up. I was like,
that.
And so anybody who hasn't seen that movie and, don't mind seeing movies back in the day, watch that, especially if you need a good laugh, because that was hilarious.
Wait, so Ray, you said you're caught up on all your nerd stuff. Are you caught up on the last season of The Flash?
Did you watch what's that kung fu movie? Karate Kid? Again, the latest Karate Kid. Cobra Kai? Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
So, there's something about Cobra Kai that's just like I'm rebuking it naturally. Like, there's something about it where it's just like, I'm like, oh, nope, it's not the time. Is there something in my spirit that's stopping me from watching it? Right. And to answer your question, Tracy, season 8 of The Flash happened. It is now streaming on Netflix.
I haven't caught up on the previous season.
Because like I see things like on the timeline, and I'm just like, I don't like the treatment of Candace Patton. And if we're being honest, that's the reason why I'm saying there. So get your act together. Maybe I'll be interested.
I only asked because I have so many, like, I love doing like Twitter spaces with soap fans, even if we're not talking about soaps, because I think that we have like a way that we look at things. So like I've done like a Bridgerton space with soap fans. And so Ray and I have been talking about doing one with this last season of The Flash, and neither one of us have watched it.
Well, y'all need to wait for me to watch it too, because I want to join.
Okay.
Because that's gonna be.
The other thing that we did was or the other thing I said I was gonna do was Love is Blind. That's my trash. Ugh, I love it so much. And so they just did After the Altar. And like Barry and I have been talking about it, and I was like, yes, I feel vindicated. There was a guy, and then we're gonna actually really get into the show that I like, because I was like, he was like toxic nice. What I mean by that is that he's such a good guy, and the woman just like was wrong to him, and I was like, I don't feel that. And so like he was like, I have this ukulele that I play, I have this signature dish that I make, and I was like, see, this is the problem. He doesn't do that for her, he does that for everyone. So his signature dish is perfected because he does it all the time for all the women who come to his home. The ukulele, he's good at it, whatever, because he does it all the time for women. It's not because he likes this woman that he's doing it. And I felt very vindicated with the year later After the Altar. Anyway.
Well, before you start, my other trash, I guess we're gonna call shows, reality shows, trash shows. Big Brother right now, this season. So for those of you who haven't watched, we have it's always controversial when you have, for some reason, Black people on Big Brother because white people don't know how to act. So there was one guy who was just like very nervous about there being another cookout thing happening, and he assumed something was happening and it wasn't, and he wanted to counteract anything like that by forming his own white alliance. Plus, they were bullying the only Black girl on the show and misinterpreting her actions and calling her standoffish and too beautiful and all this good. So that has been crazy. And I really, 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 really hope that Taylor wins. She's the Black girl in there. I guess she was in beauty pageant. She is beautiful, but how they treated her was uncalled for. So, you know,
I don't know anything about it, but I'm rooting for everybody Black like Issa Rae.
Right, exactly. That's why I was just like, I'm rooting for her just because, off the cuff. And I noticed that the thing is that we, as the Black people who are watching the show, we were okay with whatever outcome happened. Like, we had our moment with the cookout and we were fine with moving past it and going forward. But until the white person tried to point out the fact of there needing to be something happening to counteract Black people, that's when we all, ganged up together and was like, no, we're not allowing this to happen. So it was only the white people who were scared, who had a problem, that activated us. And it wouldn't have happened unless he, was acting normal, but he wasn't. He chose to make it about race. And that's when we were like, okay, fine, bet. So that's what happened.
Look out for people who don't watch. I don't even watch, but I knew this was the all Black. I know Black things. Was the all Black alliance on the last season?
Yeah,
and so a white dude came in and was like, they can't do that.
Right? No, they're gonna. All the Black people are always gonna band together against us. So we need to have a white alliance.
There's a lesson there.
They improved why we always do, but cool.
Also, I'm like, right? Haven't there been many all white alliances or?
That's why the cookout formed, because for the past 20 or so years or seasons that the cookout has been on, white people have bullied the people of color out of the house so they can always win. And so last season, the Black people were like, okay, we're not going to let ourselves be bullied out. We're going to play as a team until we're the last ones left. And then after that, it's on. And so,
Smart.
Now to GH.
Love it.
1 year later.
I love this for us. All right. Are you ready for this week's Am I the Asshole?
Yes.
Bring it.
All right. I've been with my boyfriend for a little over a year. Before we got together, he was my best friend, and sometimes people who didn't know us thought we were related because they said we looked alike. I don't really see it. Our vibe is very laid back. We are comfortable with each other. We went through something major together and came out the other side together. Recently, I met someone who I had a small spark with. Nothing really physical has happened, except we got very briefly tangled in a compromising position while dumpster diving. My boyfriend is already suspicious of this other guy because of his job, so I didn't want to create any more friction. Am I the asshole for asking the other guy to keep quiet about our dumpster diving and not telling my boyfriend?
Yes. Yes, you are. All right.
Well, here's my precursor again. I just picked out like some highlights of the week. Go to Soap Central. I'll actually put that in the show notes, but go to Soap Central if you want more in-depth day by day recap. But I'll give you the recap for this week. Let me start with how one of my faves was running the town this week. Selena Wu showed up to Curtis's club and let them know she will be showing up whenever she wants to. She had a meeting with Stable Baby, aka Cody, who now works for her. I'm not really sure what he's doing now, but I am glad he changed that shirt. So this week, his shirt wasn't red. She also showed up to the MetroCorp pool and approved of Brad and Britt's friendship while checking Brad about talking business in front of strangers. Stella and Mr. Jordan that she tampered with the divorce papers and didn't send them in. Curtis comes to Jordan's office blaming the clerk, and Jordan can't have that happen, so she takes the blame. This leads to Curtis and Portia having an ongoing discussion on whether Jordan still have feelings for Curtis and whether there should be, and I said Jordan has feelings for Portia. See, I'm crack shipping in what I'm writing. This is a message. Anyway, Jordan still has feelings for Curtis and whether they would be together if Jordan had been truthful with Curtis. At the same time, Jordan is investigating Trina's paternity harder than she ever investigated the actual case Trina was on trial for. But I'll leave that right there. Ned expressed concern about BLQ being Chase's manager with a very interesting edit of his own history. His relationship was not, so they were talking, and I'll just say this. He did not mention his relationship when he was working with someone else. His relationship was ruined because of blackmail, lies, and bigamy. And so if you haven't watched the OG Eddie Main story, I encourage you to go back and watch it. It was quite a ride. Carly is stuck in Jacksonville after her plane gets stuck due to weather. We get a revisit of the non-classic Reese Marshall storyline with Carly confronting her past, which I will discuss later. Speaking of Carly, Sam and Drew are doing just that. Drew is blowing up her phone, not knowing that she doesn't have access to it. Sam talks with him about being really happy with Dante, hashtag Sante, and seemingly gives her blessing to Carly and Drew's relationship. We also get a very cute scene with New Scout. New Scout is very cute, even though I do also really love Ella. So I hope Ella is doing well. But New Scout is very cute, and I hope we see more of her. Elizabeth wonders with Finn if the alibi Nicholas offers is for her or for him. She confesses to Ava, but Nicholas gets an alibi in the form of Brando. So earlier during the day, Sasha is placed in a conservatorship with Brando as her guardian as a way to avoid prison time. They head to Charlie's to celebrate, I don't know, where Josh and Dex are reliving their dumpster date. Josh sees that Dex left his sunglasses and heads into the alley to try to catch him. Brando sees this and is probably wondering, like I am, like, girl, there is a hooker on the loose. Why are you going through alleys? And so he follows her out and gets hooked himself. Christina, which, hey girl, sees this going down and screams to get everyone's attention. Shout out to Lexi. She should definitely be in a horror movie because she had
Right.
wrapping up with a young adult scene at the pool. Trina talks to Rory about Spencer and the weather. How romantic before he heads to work. Joss tells Trina about her secret dumpster date with Dex. Cam talks about what's going on with Liz, and Rory doubles back and lets Joss know that Brando was hooked. And that is the week that I will talk about. What did y'all? What did you think, Ray, about the week? What was your favorite moment?
I think the week was okay. I had to binge everything last night, but I don't remember everything. So I'm gonna say it's okay. I'm gonna give it a fair shot and say it's okay. My favorite moment was actually Portia and Ava in the hospital. Mostly because I really want them to be sisters. I want somehow, some way for Portia to be a Jerome. I'm probably the only one who wants it, but I want it.
I
And
want
so
to.
right. So anytime I get to see Ava and Portia together, and also like their relationship has come a long way. Um, and Ava having support outside of Nina is a great thing. And then Portia having support outside of the Ashfords. So that was like my favorite moment of this week. Also, Brando getting hooked. I laughed, but Sophia was able to reel me back in.
Why did you laugh?
You have this ex-Marine or whatever he is just being like a John Hitchcock would be like, no, like, he's just like, wait, let me wait in slow motion for this hook. Like, didn't do anything to try to help himself, protect himself. I know it was a serious moment, but I laughed hard. It was a good chuckle.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to set you up. I also laughed because I was like, Brando, are you not gonna move?
Wild.
Anyway. Yeah, I thought overall the week was decent. I'm like, damn, are we on day 10 or 11 straight of sunny? Okay. Nobody's mad about that. I will say that my favorite scene was Carly. So and I am really glad. Like I try to sometimes like either watch the show early before it broadcasts on the West Coast or keep up with Twitter so that I can like make sure that the Sunday shift Twitter like has something to say during the episode when people are watching. And that sometimes makes the show less enjoyable for me. And people should talk about what they want to. It's not me like this is not me being like timeline, don't say whatever. But it's like I like Carly as a character. I like Josh as a character. So like a lot of the characters that people come down hard on are characters I like. And it's one thing to be like, I don't really like her. Like, like we all joke about that. And it's another for it to be for people to see the episode in a way that's only like based on who they like or don't like. And so when I see it, I sometimes feel like I'm watching from a place of like defensiveness or like other people's opinions. And so I actually am really glad that I didn't see social media before I saw the scene with Carly and Reese's mom. And I say that because a couple months ago during the Nina and Bobby like interaction fight at the club, I remember a bunch of us on the timeline saying, yeah, that's fine, let's bring up Bobby's past around like the men she's cheated on and husbands, but it felt like a bridge too far to talk about her being like a teenage sex worker. And I specifically remember that we weren't blaming Nina for that. We were like, that's a Chris and Dan writer problem, to think that was okay. So with this Carly scene, it felt like we were kind of being listened to with her like declaring that sex work was work and that like when something happens to an underage young lady, like that is like the man's fault. And I felt I really appreciated that. I appreciated the way it was laid out. I appreciated the way that Carly was able to like take up for herself. If you go back and watch the original Reese Marshall storyline, which so bad, and it was like Carly number 3, she was like having a breakdown during the moment that she was talking about this, and it took Rick fucking panic room Lansing to like stand up for her. And so I just felt like it was a really great redo and a revisiting of her past and her having to reckon with her past to move forward. Yeah. So I mean, I know the timeline didn't like but I'm really glad I saw it for myself and I wasn't like reacting to anyone um or feeling like I had to push back against people's opinions. It was like a in the moment. I felt really proud that we had spoken up for that and I really appreciated the scene.
So, um, I had a couple of favorite stuff happening. Um, I enjoyed I enjoyed Laura Wright's scenes with Bitch Honeycutt. Um, I felt because I wasn't expecting what was going to happen with her whole sojourn to Jacksonville, and so it was not interesting to me until she met with the blonde lady, and who was just a total bitch. So I call her Bitch Honeycutt. So I enjoyed that scene and having Carly kind of reckoned with her past. And I kind of see it as an opportunity for her to realize who she is and who, before she had the interaction with Sunny and Jason, to really kind of get back to who she is, whether that's good or bad, but just really kind of finding herself again, which is the whole point of why she was, trying to hold off on getting in a relationship with Drew. So that's when it became interesting. So I'm really going to look forward to any more scenes, who else from her past that she comes across, and how she's going to confront them as an adult now, after she's lived a life and having to confront all the demons of the past. I'm going to be interested in that. Not to say that the performances were, I mean, Laura Wright is a great actress, but it wasn't like particularly riveting in the sense that, yay, you get the award. But I loved the scene.
Yeah.
I again, Selena Wu. So I want to give her kudos because Selena Wu being back in the mix, being again menacing, manipulating Sunny, putting the screws to Curtis, and trying to show her power in the club. Although I kind of felt like I wanted Nika to stand up to her and be like, look, bitch, don't tell me to be making any tea. Okay, because I ain't the one. And again, just feeling that sense of power of Black women against anybody that's trying to step to them. That's why I wanted Nika to react, because Selena Wu's a gangster or whatever, but Nika don't know that. Nika could be like, look, don't be telling me what to do. You ain't my boss, So I want
knows.
right, but she probably knows, and so she went to Curtis and told him, but I was in the frame of mind of, don't be giving me orders, because but anyway, still Selena Wu exerting her power and just being a better gangster than Sunny in always. Giving the shout out to her, and I want to give her, acting kudos. I also want to shout out to Gladys again. Oh my God. I think the goodbye scenes for was pretty obvious, having to watch her, everyone's like having these moments of, oh, you're such a great guy, and thank you for being a great son, and I'm always here for you from Sunny. It was pretty obvious that something was going to happen to him, but I think Gladys again pulls through, and recognizing that yes, she hasn't always been the best mom to Brando, and really grateful for him, and I just want to give her kudos for that kind of goodbye scene, but also being strong during the whole period of time of him being stabbed, and being strong for Sasha and all that. So shout out to Bonnie.
Yeah.
Those are my kudos actors for the week.
I think that what Bonnie does is so special, because I remember when she first came on, I was like, I want her gone.
Right, me too.
Like Gladys, I was like, please get her out of here. And I think that she like really walks this line and like threads this needle of being like funny and serious and caring. There was a part I'd also rewatched a lot of this last night, when Sasha lets Gladys go in first. So like Gladys has her rosary and she's praying. And then when Sasha was like, "You can go in first," like she was like, "Thank you, baby." And it just like melted my like cold heart for a second. Like it was just very like she's Sasha's mom. She loves her. And it just reminded me, I remember when she first came on and Dev was like, "I gotta get away from this woman," R.I.P. Dev. Um, like, Dev's like, "I gotta get away from this woman," to like now where she is like so a part of the Brasha story. And a good part of the Brasha story. That's all Bonnie. That's all the way she plays it. That's not on the page. That's her. So I just think that what she does is really special.
She's come a long way. I don't hate her anymore.
Yeah. I actually look forward to her acting, weird and crazy as much as I do to Gladys acting like a mom. Like I want her to just say something really off color because it kind of breaks the tension, when she does it. But at the same time, when she's a sincere, caring mom, it makes me feel like, oh. So yeah, she's becoming one of my favorites. So
I enjoy seeing her. I don't get mad when I see her.
I like the clarification. Now, wait now. No, she's okay.
I don't get mad.
But that's like a feat because I used to be like, "Boo, get her out of here." Like,
right?
Look? Like, and now I'm just like, "Gladys, I'm glad to see you." So I
So I understand because it's kind of how I feel like Hat Daddy. Like I'm no longer mad seeing him on the screen, whereas before it was like on site. Now I'm just like, oh, okay.
And when I say him, I'm like, "What's cracking, baby?"
Oh my gosh, I can't.
So what is working for you this week on the show?
The Woman of Port Charles is working for me. The acting on the show, even if the writing is not there, I keep coming back for the actors because they're so amazing. Like they are able to take such small little things and make me like just come into their story. The perfect example of that is Anika. I want her on screen so much more. First of all, she could have kicked her butt because you see how strong she was. I was like, let's go. I would have been ready for it too. She finally got a new outfit. Versus a new outfit next is a storyline. Like I'm here for it. Like I want her on screen more. Selena is the mobster we deserve. Sonny who? What is he doing besides going around and ab-libbing? And I don't even call him Sonny anymore. I call him Mo, but that's a whole different story. But like he doesn't really have a purpose to be anymore. So like everything that she was doing, the fact that I believe they were speaking Cantonese on screen, like that was amazing. Like I'm glad that they had the subtitles for it. Like that stuff is important. So those little moments like that, and I'm going to credit that to I forgot her name, Lydia. Is it Lydia?
Perry. Yeah.
Lydia and Perry. I'm going to credit that to them. And then Stella being messy. Nothing is possible. Miss Stella. She would, and you know what? And I don't blame her for not saying anything because it's been too long. Curtis has grown. He should have known what he was doing before. It's been too long. So the fact that like she didn't ask Jordan to stand up for her. I would have did the same thing. Like, oh, someone's taking care of it. Thank you, babes. And she thanked her. What more could she do in that moment? I'm not saying it was right, but her level of messy is appreciated. And as a non-Carly lover, I appreciated Carly's journey, but I'm a petty person, so I really appreciated her standing in her white womanness. Her Like she was peak white woman, and I really did like it. Like when she got to that, when she came out of the plane and she was like, "Well, what's going on? They don't know, and you know they don't know." The fact that she felt comfortable having a conversation with this older lady who was shading her, and she was like, "Is it shade? I feel like it's shade." And then like later on, everything that happened with her, what you guys said, all of the women this week, even if I wasn't paying attention real well, they grabbed it. Sophia's performance also was amazing.
Yeah. Yes. That's so good, Ray, because I'm like, I don't have to say this, I don't have to say that. Because I just think you cannot convince me that GH doesn't have the best actresses, hands down. Mm-hmm. Our actresses just like show up, whether it's a character I like or not, like our actresses like put it on the screen, they put it on the line, they lift their male counterparts, their male, like their male scene partners. They're just great. I don't, nothing else to say about that. I loved Selena Wu this week. I loved her at the club, just being like, what? I obviously own it here. I loved her when Cody came up and tried to like shake her hand, and she looked at his hand like, get away from me with this hand. Like it was just like, it was like the way I would have looked at Cody, like, what is his hand? Did you watch that? Like it was just like, I loved it. And then when she like went and saw Brad, and I just love the like, this is family business. As a matter of fact, it's so family business. We're not even gonna talk about it in English. We're gonna speak about it in our language and make this white woman uncomfortable. I loved every part of it. And to your point, Perry did tweet that like he was like, he speaks Cantonese, and so does Lydia, and they bought, and like he thanked Frank for like letting them do it. So like it was clearly like the actor's choice. And then Cassandra like lifted it and was like, guess who else speaks Cantonese? And so I think that we might be able to see maybe more of that. And I think those cultural moments are so important. It was like why we loved when Temp Taggart was there at that lunch with Portia and Trina. It's why we loved the conversation between Aunt Stella and Portia. It's why we love Aunt Stella, because I mean, I know many messy ass Aunt Stellas. I have a messy ass Aunt Stella. So like, I think having those like very real moments with really great actresses that really tap into culture is so important. And I loved it. And I also do want to give a shout out to Sophia Baxter's performance. I mean, she's just, we never see her. I'm going to get into that into my what's not working, but we never see them. And every time we do see them, she's just like Emmy, like it's just like, oh, this is on your Emmy role now. Every single time. So what about you, Tanya? What's working for you?
Oh, but I want to comment. Well, I'll wait till we talk about what's not working.
Your thing, either way. It's your world.
What I think I already talked about what's working. I like the whole Carly Sojourn. That for me was what worked. I thought I had a list of what worked, but I don't. That was just it. So I want to go into. I want to comment on Ray's what worked, because for me, I agree that yes, the women actresses are great. They're awesome. And Stella, the actress that plays her, I love her. But what I didn't like about it was the fact that I did not like that she did not take responsibility for her actions with Curtis. And mainly because it seems out of character for her. Like she didn't even make an attempt to own up to it to him. I feel like there was too many opportunities for her to say something, to chime in and be like, well, the reason is because, but she didn't do it. She kind of hemmed and hawed and gave that, well, there's so many reasons. I'm like, you know the reason. Why didn't you say the reason? And the reason why it annoyed me is because she has been in the past so strong in her opinion about telling the truth and honesty and integrity, but her hemming and hawing and not doing so about this particular truth in her actions, for me, felt hypocritical. And Curtis at the same time is doing the same thing. I mean, he's ranting to Jordan about not telling the truth in relationships, and yet he's lying to everyone about what is going on with him and Selena and his business. So I feel like, sir, you have no legs to stand on either in your self-righteousness and indignation. So while I understand the actors are just playing what the writers are giving to them, I feel like the writers are sacrificing character, moral integrity in order to serve the plot, which I don't like. So that's my what's not working. It's not the only thing that's not working. So as always, nothing about Cody works. I mean, the latest thing, the latest reason why I don't like him is, I mean, he's saying, I need to leave town because there's suspicions on me. I'm like, dude, if you know you didn't do it, then why are you wanting to leave town? You know you didn't do this. So why are you acting guilty?
Or did
And then, and then acting, again, being bad by wanting to become Selena's gambling hustler. I mean, he is definitely not Max or even Dominique's son, because he has no character whatsoever. He's bad. I don't like him. Nothing about him works. Boo. I don't want to see it. And then Drew's phone tag was annoying to me. Dude, you called her 3 or 4 times the same day. You knowing she's on the plane. She will call you if she has her phone. She doesn't have her phone, but he doesn't know that. So he's still stalking her, and I need him to stop. Get a life. Do something with yourself. Don't be calling her 3 or 4 times a day. Stop. Okay, that's it. Next.
all of that. I love it. I love it. I want to talk about props and the way shows use them. So the way the kids are being used as props doesn't work for me. Partly because I think that there's like this idea that, like, especially with actresses, where it's like, if Carly gets story, that means Sam isn't getting story, or if Nina gets story, that means Liz isn't getting story. Like, those kind of like exchanges, I think, happen, or like those thoughts happen. I don't think that that's true necessarily. I mean, there's like some truth to that around like episode counts, but I don't think it's true when it comes to like whether or not the writers could do better telling better story. But there is that actually with kids, that because of COVID protocols, we actually can't have a bunch of kids on set. They do have to pick and choose what kids come in and tell what story and do what work, which is why, like, when we have birthday parties, for example, like we had like Chase singing at Leo's birthday party. We're the kids.
We're the kids, yeah.
Like, where are the other kids at? And so I think the last birthday party we had, or like the last big kids party we had, was like pre-COVID, and it was when Charlotte put the snake in Ava's purse. Shout out to baby Helena. So like that, and they had like extras, like it was like actual like lots of kids there. And because of like COVID protocols, like we actually just can't have that. So when you make the decision to bring Violet on, who doesn't advance story, and this is nothing about Jophiel, she's very cute, all of that, but she doesn't advance story. She's there to be a prop for Finn. Why? And like she's just like, oh, say something cute. That's not. No disrespect and all disrespect. No disrespect to Jophiel, all disrespect to Finn. I don't care. I don't care. I want to see legacy kids. I want to see Liz's kids. Like, the kid who plays Jake is a phenomenal actor. Bring him in. He should be in the story, Liz's story. The last time we saw all 3 of Liz's kids together, they weren't with Liz. They were with Finn. Propping Finn.
Propping Finn. Yeah.
What the hell is this? I don't want to see this. I was like looking at some old GH the other day, which is why I was like so serious. Like, dang, I really do love all of Liz's boys. Like, Cam has grown on me. Jake is phenomenal. Aiden's a great, like, they're just really good in their bond. I would love to see Jake and Danny together. I want to see legacy kids, because that's like what makes the next generation like something we actually want to see, and have them be something beyond props. Because part of the problem with a character like Michael is that Michael is only served to be a prop for Carly, Sunny, and Jason's stories. And the one time he had a story that wasn't about him, or what wasn't about them, it kind of worked. The Sasha story wasn't about them. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then they flipped it back to Willow and Wiley, and the Wiley reveal ended up being Carly's story. If you go back and look at that scene, Carly's talking, not Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and so then you look at Brasha, who I think could have been like, I'm going to say this forever. Brasha should be with their peers. Brasha should be with Chalene and Milo. It doesn't matter whether I like these couples or like, I mean, I like Chalene, I don't like Milo. It doesn't matter how I feel about them. Like, we should still be seeing these people together. Like, this is a group of friends, or it should be. So when I see Brasha, the reason we can't get story for them is because they literally exist to prop Sona. Mm-hmm. Everything that's happened with them, from their from their dead baby to their coked out wedding to Brando's hooking, has been about Sona. For what? Mm-hmm. Not about building out story for them, not about building out relationship for characters within their age group. It's really, really unfortunate, and I feel really bad for Johnny and Sophia, who literally show up every time we see them and tell good story, tell as much story as they can every single time we see them. I compare it again to like Grey's Anatomy. They're like one of the couples who just drop in to like tell a good story on Grey's Anatomy that you never see again. They pull on your heartstrings and you're like, oh damn, that was sad. But they don't feel like they're integrated into the cast because they're there to prop Sona's relationship. Also, why did they have Nina go home? That was so weird, right? Where they had her. This is not like a Nina thing. This is not me hating on Nina. I will hate on Nina as much as I want to, but it was just like a weird writing choice. That like she stayed the night for Ava, but Brando's still in surgery and you send her home? Chris and Dan, what's happening? What y'all doing over here? Anyway, that's my rant. Ray, take the mic. What's not working? Please.
Oh man. The men of Port Charles.
What's working, women? What's not working, the men.
They're just
preach. This is Sunday.
They're just not written in a way where I want to see them. Every time they're on screen, I'm like, why? What is this purpose? Why do I have to deal with you? And that should not be the feeling that we get from our leading men. Cody's chip on his shoulder. Why? They have not explained to me why he's paranoid. Like, I'm supposed to get somehow that him and Dante have a past. Well, you need to let me know the past. Let Dante write in his journal about it. I don't know. Something to where I know why they have this weird relationship. Brando, you're almost dead, at least fingers crossed. So I'm not gonna say anything about you right now. Rory, you're just goofy. Like, why are you around? Why are you comfortable being the second choice consistently in a new relationship? And I really wanted, like you, Tracy, I really wanted what's the 3 thing called? Triangle.
Yeah.
I really wanted like a good solid triangle, and we're not getting it. And every time he's on screen, I'm just like, you're mad goofy for being okay with this from this young lady. No, like, and I love Trina, but I would not be disrespected the way that Trina continues to disrespect him. She ran into your job, bro. And was like, where's my other guy? Where's the guy I really want? And you finally get a moment with her, and you're not talking about weather or the fact that you didn't go to college, which if you didn't go to college, you didn't go to college. So, but the fact that you want to talk about the weather or Spencer, those were your 2 options. My guy, that's not cute. Do better for yourself. I want better for you. Nicholas is a gaslighting liar. Finn is a gaslighting stalker. Curtis is a gaslying grown man who only will defend a white woman, but never wants to defend a black woman. All the men.
Mhm.
Ooh, tomato, tomato.
I love this running down. Let's all
Right.
talk about Ned. I really want to talk about it. Ned.
Oh,
Men, yeah.
No, I'm talking about Ned. I
Oh
just like
man.
still can't get over him being like, well, you know, my relationship didn't work because of my career. Bro, that's not what happened. You
mm-mm.
were married to somebody else who hopped out of a cake. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to Lois.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, what are you talking about, Ned? It was just, they're awful. Curtis, like, who cares if Jordan likes you? What is this mystery? Like, get out of here, Scooby Doo. Who cares? Who cares if she likes you? What does that have to do with you?
Mm-hmm.
Get them papers reissued and get them signed. You, grown man, should have known the papers weren't signed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know where my birth certificate is? My mama's house.
Right.
You know where all my stuff is. Like, you should know where your documents are. You too grown not to know.
Mm-hmm.
We've been having spaces for last year, and every time Curtis comes up, I'm like, why does he not know that he's married still? He was able-bodied. He's the one who wanted the divorce. Why did you not take the measurements that as an adult you bought a house and you still didn't realize you were married? Your credit score wasn't like.
Instead, he wanted to start dating Portia. He should have been on Jordan's ass. Sign those papers, send them in. Give them to me and I will mail them for you. Anything. Knowing what Jordan was going through, he could have been like, oh, I know you're dealing with this right now, but do you have the divorce papers? But let's not forget, they had a moment in the hospital where he told her that he loved her. So maybe he forgot then that there's actually supposed to be divorce, or maybe he thought it was too awkward, but the day after or anytime after, he could have been like, hey, where's the divorce papers?
You mean when he bought that diamond?
Right.
That he put in some chlorine to propose? Yeah.
Anytime, actually, anytime. The day he moved in, walked, looking for houses, buying Jax's place at any time.
Mm-hmm. I bet you Ava, when she wants her divorce, she'll have the papers in, handing it herself.
Mm-hmm.
I love Curtis slander.
Sorry. He just acts like he's so like perfect and above board. He's just a shady.
Mm-hmm.
And bratty. Like, you mad at Sunny? I'm just like, I can't with you, Curtis.
Look, when Nina came back, when Nina came back from hiding a whole man from his family, he was like, you look good, girl. What's your skincare routine? He did not have no type of heat. None.
Nina straight up went home and showered off the ashes of Phyllis's bar and went and had drinks with Curtis, free drinks. And then when Michael and Willow ran up on her like, girl, what? Why you came to our house? You did all of this bull? Curtis is like, can't get in here with these shoes. Like, what? Like, I was like, but like Jordan and Portia better be perfect.
Right.
Y'all can just be together. Beautiful Jordan and beautiful Portia. Y'all should just be together.
I would love it.
Forget that man.
Yeah, I mean, because they're sacrificing they had a good relationship, and that's all going by the wayside for this man.
Well, looks like we're getting into some hot takes, and I think we should just do them carousel, one after the other. So,
okay,
who would like to start with their hot take?
And this is, I guess, my first one is basically because that's what the first thing that pissed me off was. Stella was like, why the hell would you do that? And I was like, because you didn't. Why didn't you tell the truth, Curtis, the truth? That's what I wrote. I wrote it in all caps. Why didn't you tell Curtis the truth? Don't be coming at Jordan and be like, why the hell did you do that? because you did not. That's why. Okay, next.
I can go. Finn is a good example of why I don't tell my friends relationships on business, because they have a habit of telling everyone else that you were not connected to about your personal things. And it's like, I was telling you, not X, Y, and Z. You're A.
Right.
I'm not sure how it skipped all them people. Also, he had jeans on at the pool, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, love it. This is a little of my slander. Apologies to any liaison fans who watch us. I'd be surprised if y'all did though. How many times is Elizabeth going to point the murder finger at one of her exes? Jason, Nicholas. Damn girl, you stay snitching.
Mm-hmm.
Your exes. Who be trying to help you out? You know who ain't snitching? Sam.
All right. Mine still on from Tuesday. Nicholas threatening Portia to get in to see Ava. You are such a menace and a bully and you know what? You're the horrible person. I cannot forget him calling Portia a horrible woman. I cannot. And he's acting the one that's acting horrible with his, his body snatcher in the back, talking about I'm gonna get in. You better move out. I'm like, no. What are you gonna do? You gonna start a fisticuff fight out in the hallway so you can get in to see Ava who don't want to see you? Go. Have thermal seats. Lady.
Nicholas slander makes me so happy.
Like seriously, what I couldn't believe it. I also had a hot take about that, but you said it. Like I just could not believe that Nicholas was like coming at. I was like the Ashfords versus the Cassidines. I'm team Ashford. Okay. I have. Oh wow, I have a lot of list stuff. Okay. Finn trying to recount the Niz affair to his daddy. Bro, there are gaps in your story. Because, they were together or they have a history. Let me tell you about the history. Finn, how much time you got? Because I have a history lesson for you. Sober, drunk, sober. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Okay, for not caring about Dex at all, he's just a person who walks around to me. I ship him with a lot of people. So in the order of importance to me,
let's talk about it.
Cam, Joss, Christina, Michael, Cam again, and then it ends there. I want him with Cam so bad.
You want him to be with Cam?
Yes.
I'm personally offended that you keep trying to mess up my ship, which is Dex and Michael. Okay. Y'all already took Chikel from me. Why can I not have my Dex and Michael?
Look, I'm really
like, are we talking? I need clarification. We're talking about Dex and old Michael, not Dex and new Michael Morgan, right?
Right. Dex and old Michael. Yeah. Okay. Because my hot take, Ray, and then I'll go back to Sonya. It was, I'm a Dex multi-shipper. That's what I had in my notes. Oh my gosh. Whatever. I do think he's very cute with Joss.
They are.
I am not trying to entertain this bullshit with Christina, but I have another hot take about Christina later. Go ahead,
Tanya. Why is Drew telling Hat Daddy about his love life? I mean, is it that hard for you to give Carly some time to find herself? You got to talk to everybody. I mean, dude, go find a hooker or something and get it out of your system. Leave Carly alone and stop talking to everybody. It's none of Hat Daddy's business. It's not. So sit down and be quiet. Get a life. Find, if you need sex that bad, again, find a pro. Work it out. leave Carly alone.
And pay well.
Sex work is work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're professional.
Hello.
They will let you forget about Carly. Anyway, go ahead. You next, Tracy?
Oh, is it me? Is it me?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm messing up. So this quote, if dad trusts Dex, then that's good enough for me. That's a ridiculous line for Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. I really like Lexi, and getting back on my like propping bullshit. If they only brought back Christina to prop Sunny, keep it. That's absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Like after Dawn of Day, after people put themselves on the line for her foolishness time after time, to leave with Dex, who you just met, after Dante warned you about him,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a hooker on the loose. This is the kind of Christina decisions that I be talking about. People like, I want Christina to run the mob. You want the person who just left with a stranger that they brother warned them against? If dad trusts him, then he's good enough for me. Well, the last time your dad trusted somebody in his organization, it was Dante, and guess what happened?
Mm-hmm. You should listen to Dante.
It was
Dante,
Dominic Pirelli.
yeah, because Dante can spot a fake because he was one. So I'm trusting.
Just like the idea that if dad trusts him, it's good enough for me. So they didn't told you he didn't ran up on your brother. And that's the thing. Christina and Michael, I get it. I get people not liking Michael, I get all of that. But they have always been close.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to hear Christina, like if Christina knew everything that Michael was doing, I could see her being mad. But I'm not trying to hear Christina just turning against Michael right now for Sunny.
And then them not even having a conversation. So I was not going to be all like analyzing the fact that Christina was okay with letting Sunny and Nina be together. But just to hark back to what you said, Christina and Michael have always been close. So they should have had a conversation about the whole situation. And that's on GH for not having Christina be on the show. But I really agree with you is the fact that Christina and Michael being at odds doesn't play right historically because they are always been close and they would have had a conversation. Michael might have even told Christina, look, this is the plan. That's how close they were. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they aren't that close anymore is really disrespecting the history of those two characters.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to bring mine back to Brando. So they haven't really done anything with his character to make me love him. So is him getting hooked supposed to make me care? Because it doesn't. Now, do I look forward to it because Sophia hopefully will get her Emmy from it? Yes. Do I have my fingers crossed every time someone mentions him that's going to be, oh, he flatlined? Yes. Will I celebrate? Yes. We need to trim some, and like he does really good performances, but like if you're not going to do anything with the character, I don't want to see them. And since you refuse to ship people off and have them come back in, I now have to wish for people to be dead, and he's on that list.
I like Brando, but you have a point. If they're not going to really utilize him, then
bye-bye.
Oh, okay. This is for Carly. Now, I have a thing about people being on planes and using their phone. So when Carly was all up on her phone calling, God knows who, and all of a sudden the plane jerks around, the immediate thing that came up to my head was like, ha, see, this is what you get for being on your phone during the flight. That's what I was thinking. I know that's bad, but they tell you over and over again, do not be on your phone during the flight. And she was on the phone and all of a sudden the plane started malfunctioning. So I'm just saying, Y'all need to start following the rules. And it's best to help people follow the rules, television, if you practice good behavior. Television. Because planes are too important. And y'all can't be messing with, pilots trying to navigate these airlines. Y'all need to get off your phone. Sorry.
Love it.
Scout really read Drew. She was like, "Who do you have, Daddy?" Well, loser. The time with my fave Leo. You gotta read somebody. You're alone, Dad? Nobody? Boring ass. Like, guess you can take me to school because you're lonely.
You ain't got nobody.
My
you ain't got nothing else to do. You ain't got no job. Just kidding.
Right. She was just like,
Oh my
she saw
God.
him hugging Dante, like, or hugging. She was like, "That's Dante's. Mom's Dante's. Where your girl at, Dad?"
Yeah. Don't
I
try
love
to.
it.
Yeah.
I love shady kids. I feel like she got that from Leo because Leo is really one of my faves.
Mhm.
Easton is such a little talent. He lights up the adults who he's in scenes with.
He's an example of propping because he was propping Cody this week.
Woo. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Poor little Easton in them shoulders.
Leave
I would
Leo
have
alone.
fast forwarded it if it wasn't for Easton being in that scene because I just like watching him interacting with people. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I would have been like, Cody, sorry, Laura Wright.
Right.
Leo is the voice of the people.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, Sunny. Sunny needs to get a little bit of heat. Or actually, it's more a Chris and Dan thing. I think it's interesting that they have Sunny recognize that Sasha and him have been in similar like mental states in distress, but how they are handling, like, so you recognize that they've both been mentally unwell and need support, but how you're doing the support is so vastly different. Why would you as a writer point it out if you're not going to actually address it or fix it? So you have her in a conservatorship now. Sunny has never, to my knowledge, Sunny has never lost anything big because he was going through a moment of a weakness with his mental state. But you have Sasha losing everything, and now it's in question because, again, fingers crossed, Brando will be gone soon. So now it's in question of like what's going to actually happen with Sasha. Is she going to be a ward of the state? Because we saw how the DH treated Trina. I'm not sure I want her in this, well, I never trust the government that much anyway, but I'm not sure I want her in this situation. So I think it's interesting that they pointed it out, but they're not actually doing anything to address it properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that story is very much like, what if we didn't free Britney?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, it's almost like conservatorship propaganda.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, this is what it could be if you had a good guardian. Brando's the anti Jamie Lynn Spears. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it. Boo, boo, tomato.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any more hot takes, so I just want to have one final comment of thanking GH for not showing scenes of Spencer in jail. I don't want to see it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a few more. Do you have more, Ray?
A couple.
Okay, you go.
Beat his ass, Portia, talking about Nick.
Yep. I have that. I have almost exactly that, so I'll cross that out. Why they got my girl Miss Wu acting like Chase should be on American Idol? Don't do her like that. No.
Actually, I think I've already said my Curtis one, but I'm looking forward to Curtis and Payne. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all mine.
Trina is really talking about the weather with Rory. Niece, please. You don't like this man. You just don't like this man. Like, you can't convince me. You was like, She basically was like, well, I thought you were stupid because you didn't go to college, and now let's talk about the weather. Like,
I thought you were stupid because you didn't go to college.
like that was
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
vibe. She's like, I didn't want to talk about books in front of you because I didn't think you read. Like, you know what I mean? What? It was, like we haven't seen Spencer, but Sprina was strong this week. Like, what?
Oh my gosh.
It was like, I mean, Ray said it, but like to your point, it was so insulting. I was like, Rory, stand up.
Stand up.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he could have been like, I may not have gone to class, but I've read such and such and such and such. Because there's a lot of people who don't go to college and probably more well read than a lot of us. So he could have, yeah, the writers could have him be more interesting. They just choose not to.
They don't care about that man. Also, even if he's not a reader, cool, you're not a reader. We just learned 2 seconds ago that apparently, although you don't know about, art, you're a comic book writer or artist, whatever. So he can talk about that.
Yeah, Trina could actually pretend like she's interested in that part of his life and be like, hey, so tell me about the latest graphic novel, or I saw that this novel's coming into the movies, we should go see it, or anything. Yeah, they don't care, and she doesnn't either.
At this point, Trina's not even trying to convince herself that she likes him.
No. And you peep how Cam still don't talk to this man.
Cam has been over him since he was arrested. So
yeah. You dated the who arrested me? All right, Trina.
Cam already, what didn't he call out Sprina before he sung his song?
Yeah.
Yes, Cam.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Cam is a messy boot shipper. I love it. Yeah, Cam is a shipper and he's very messy. Let's see, I got a couple more. It was really weird when Chase and Violet were in the pool and Chase was like talking about Violet having a crush on somebody. I was like, damn, straight people, y'all keep embarrassing me. Why are you sexualizing these kids? Ugh, I hated it. It's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Again, embarrassed by people. When Sunny was like, if it wasn't for you being Avery's mother, and then threatened to take Frank if Ava didn't tell him what was happening, like, okay, TMZ Sunny.
Right.
He's just is aimlessly wandering around, overstepping with Sasha, telling business, telling the police how to run their investigation, telling people how they can't question Christina. Like, now I mean, we'll talk more about it, but now the like murder mystery is like kind of gonna be centering him.
Meanwhile, Selena is actually moving like pieces on the board and being the mobster that we deserve. She's actually making connections, racking up favors left and right. She just moved her way into the Savoy and was like, yeah, you're the owner. I get it. Right.
It was just like, I was like, Curtis, what did you think was gonna happen with Selena Wu? How many favors you gonna ask this woman for and you think that's gonna happen? Dummy. It's unbelievable to me that the Quartermains don't have cameras on property. I don't get it. Y'all are rich. Like, so you got something that like tells you that there's a fire somewhere else, but you don't have a camera where that thing is. Okay. Yeah. Nicholas bringing up Morgan to Ava like he wasn't faking his death and hiding it from his son when that happened. Shut up, Nicholas.
Evergreen statement.
Right.
So he like lists off his behaviors, his worst traits, and then tried to excuse his behavior by saying it. Like, am I awful? Am I horrible? Did I sleep with my son's girlfriend? Am I a piece of shit? Do I know? Am I a bad actor who can't close my mouth?
Yes, you
like, fuck off, Marcellus.
I
Uh,
felt really like I was like, Ava, don't still love this man. Don't. Don't still want him. There's nothing for you to want in this man. He is pathetic, annoying. He's not Tyler Christopher. Let him go.
yeah,
Push him off the parapet like you did Esme.
yes. Um, a chillin hug and not chillin banging.
Why?
No.
Why? Also, Ned, shut your mouth. You just got back with your woman. Calm down and let them be messy, please.
And not even that messy. Anyway. I don't care about the Dante was a bad kid story. I don't care. Whatever he did, it was in his juvenile record. Like we've seen this like story before. Like, oh my god, like you like let me run off in our juvenile years, and you got in trouble and I didn't, and so now I'm a big like I don't care. I don't care.
You made a decision, stick with it.
Um, I was like very confused. So we to go back to Stella and like this whole thing, like it was clear that like Jordan just didn't want a clerk to get in trouble, right? Why didn't you just say there's a lot of steps between my desk and the clerk and we can't just blame a clerk?
Right.
Could have got lost in the mail. Could have like there's so many things that could have happened that we shouldn't blame the clerk and we should just refile.
Or again, Curtis, you're a grown ass individual. You could have kept track of your divorce.
um, I just have this note. Ugh, this little bitch energy that rolls off Nicholas. Every time he's with Sunny, I'm just like, ugh. This
Yeah.
is gross.
Did you guys laugh when he had his like goon with him?
Yeah.
I laughed.
Your goon look like he's about to turn against you. Like, get out of here. Like the goon was like, wait, what? What we doing here?
Is this one of Sonny Granthos men?
You trying to get me? You trying to get me killed over some business over a wife who don't even want to see you?
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, there's no amount of money in the world, none.
The fact that Ava is being protected by one of Sonny's men and not the PCPD, just get out of here. Defund the PCPD. I mean, the last thing I want to say is, I had so many. The last thing I want to say is, oh no, two things. I like the chaos scene. I typically don't like Joss and Cam together as a couple. I do like them as friends. And I hope that whatever happens means that they can stay as friends because I do like that. And I do feel because they waited so long with Sprina, we're gonna get robbed of our four musketeers. I wanted. So I did like the scene where she was like supportive to him and asked him about like what was happening with Liz and getting his point of view because we don't get Cam's point of view ever. Yeah. He's just kind of there. He like they sometimes will ask him about Elizabeth, but like we don't get like exactly how hard it is for him. We just get a word or two.
That was great.
Yeah. And then finally, every time a man and a woman are in a scene together, it does not mean they're Kim testing. Also, y'all are missing possible queer couple Kim testing by thinking it's only male and female.
I'm not really on the timeline anymore because it's chaotic. Who are you talking about?
Just in general, like there was like a bunch of people were like, oh, our BLQ and Stable Baby Kim testing, our Christina and Dex, it was one more that was like really interesting. And I was like, I don't think so. I think that these are just scenes. Like people don't have to. But I also then am like, we just saw Michael and Dex on the docks looking like bays, and we're not calling that a Kim test. Because if they're Kim testing, they have passed.
Especially that one scene in the car. I was like, okay, maybe Cam can be second, but
So That's all. Any other hot takes before we get into previews for next week?
I hope Josh cheats. Sorry. I want mess.
I know you do.
I know.
Well, you don't want her to just break up with him. You want him to just want her to cheat.
The thing is, I would prefer for her to break up with him. I prefer for him to make a mistake and it just doesn't work out naturally. And then, like, she gets with him. But I'm so hungry for mess on this show that I'm just like, Olivia, cheat with Horseboy. Selena, like, why aren't you trying to fuck us, Curtis? Like, that's how chaotic I want my mess to be. So that's why, like, ideally, no, she probably wouldn't cheat because people are gonna come for Josh for no reason, and I actually like Josh. But I just want mess.
People come for Josh all the time. I just muted her name. People,
Yeah.
you know, and there's like definitely, I'm not saying that everybody, it's not a everybody thing, but even like the Christina and Dex shipping is a little bit of like, we don't want her with Josh. You know, people just don't like her. And that's fine. You can't tell anybody what to like, but I do like Josh. But I also like Carly, so it's easier to like. It's easier for me to like Josh. I also think I think it's okay that Josh ships Rory and Trina. I don't think that makes her a bad friend to Trina. And I actually am interested, and I think it's interesting that Cam didn't have a little bit more smoke for Spencer for the things he said to Josh. Even if it was to like keep a secret or whatever, like, bro, he called your girlfriend a porn queen of PCU as she was like going through this revenge porn shit. Like,
right, yeah,
the smoke. And I hear like when Trina was like, "I'm over Spencer," I was like, "Okay, girl, all right, all right, Trina, sure." Like, because you were a runner, a track star just a couple days ago. So
form was tight. Okay. She was just
somebody did an edit to her running up that hill. Oh, it was so beautiful, actually. But I was just like, but I laughed when I saw the title of it because I was like, she was running, but then the edit ended up being really, really, really beautiful. Like, Oh, and another thing I didn't say. So there's a lot of speculation. We should do this. Who do you think the hook is?
I still kind of think it's Esme, but because I think the hooker was trying to go after Joss and just caught up and got Brando instead. So yeah, she don't like Ava and she don't like Joss. So
yeah, I think realistically it's probably Esme. Ideally it would be Nina. Because I haven't seen Nina and the hooker in the same spot, but they've been in the same circles. Just saying. I think it would be really interesting for Nina to go full great because and I'm sorry to Nina fans. I am not that, but she's boring. And if you need so many people to prop the character, then the character is not working. And she would be interesting as a killer.
I will say I don't necessarily know if I think many Nina fans listen to us. But if you're here, shout out to you. If you are still here, woo. And we would definitely appreciate that. Look, just I'm like that reaction video of that girl that's like crying, like, I don't know what y'all do over there, but that's not me. That's all about Nina fans. Like, I don't know what y'all do over there, but that's not me. So yeah, I don't know who I mean, I think it makes sense for it to be Esme. I just really don't want it to be Rory.
Yeah.
I think I was just saying, and we're gonna do this next week. We're gonna do a deep dive into the text message killer. And I'm not interested in them Diego Alcazaring another man of color. I would actually prefer him to die a hero, just like continue to be like a boring nobody, as opposed to like Like, I would rather Trina have like just a random, regular, boring dead boyfriend than a ex-boyfriend than a serial killer ex-boyfriend, to be honest with you. So that's my thought.
I agree.
And him dying as a hero is good because again, it brings more angst to Sprina. And the Sprina fans will probably hate me for this, but again, it just brings more angst and having her feel guilty about being with Spencer after her ex-boyfriend dies a hero, especially if he dies in for her. Like he gets like the hookers after Trina, and then he stands in the way and does the whole Brando no instead of pulling out his gun. But
Like, no. It could be like I'm thinking of like Xander. Like Emily and Nicholas were together and then Xander died, right? Like I could see that for Sprina, like her figuring out her feelings, Rory just being like whatever. I could see like a misdirect, like they did Cooper Barrett during the text message killer, and then like him dying, like wanting to save her or something like that, and them having some more angst in that way. Yeah.
Or even her visiting Spencer, like she figures out her feelings. She's visiting Spencer being like, I love you. And he's like, I love you. And then meanwhile, and Rory's at like the supposed to meet him at the gallery or something. And he gets chopped up there.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Ray, I would love that. Like, what if, so Ray does these speculation spaces, like the PC Rewired crew does the speculation spaces every Thursday.
okay.
Is it Thursdays?
Yeah, typically, yeah.
I would love if like Spencer wrote Trina another letter from jail and sent it to the gallery. She got it at the gallery and was like, I gotta go see my bae. You should have known better than to think I would leave. You should have known better than to doubt me. It don't matter if you up, matter if you down. Anyway, I'm not gonna sing Monica, but either way, I'm gonna be around. You should have known your girl was gonna ride or die. But like, and then she goes to see Spencer. Like she rushes to go see Spencer, but Rory comes to the gallery to check on her, and she's not there. He picks up the letter. He sees she left to go see Spencer, and he gets hooked as he's reading the letter, and his blood is on the letter from Spencer. So when he's found,
oh wow,
yeah, one of these where it's like the drag mark a little bit on the letter.
Yes,
right. Every time she looks at the letter, it's his blood on there. And
yes.
oh my god.
Text us, friend. We have ideas. Text us.
So haunting. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh. We're running up the hill in the background of that scene. Sorry. Okay. Whew.
Yes. See, I want it. We just wrote an epic. So good.
Look, our fan fiction is going to get us. What's that? What's the Gray's Christian Grey book?
Oh,
our fanfic is going to turn into that. Millions.
Oh yeah. Because it was just Twilight fanfic, 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. Yep. Texas Frank. Ready for previews for next week after we've just written anything much better than they could ever.
Right.
All right. We learned from Soap Opera Digest that someone will die.
Uh-oh.
The options we were given: Brando, Diane, Nina, Michael, or Ava. And we also learned that the killer is raising the stakes. And so many people are speculating that means that the killer will add poison to the hook.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, because he's tired of like almost not killing people, or they're tired of almost not killing people.
Brando's not going fast enough. It's been a couple of days, bro.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not Brando. Who knows? So I am not Sandra. I cannot do the very funny grouping, so I'm just gonna go by day. Monday, 9/19. Curtis reassures Portia. Elizabeth uncovers more of her memories. Jocelyn vents to Trina. Gregory makes an invitation to Alexis. Dex runs interference. Oh, because we did forget to talk about that Sunny, or that Michael told Dex, stay away from my sister. And Michael was like, or Michael told Dex to stay away from my sister. And Sunny was like, you need to guard Jocelyn. Tuesday, Port Charles mourns the death of one of their own. Carly takes on a new fight. Sunny reminisces about Mike. Of course, TJ confides in Stella. Portia consults with Finn.
Oh, poison. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, why? Poison.
Wednesday, Curtis is wary of Selena. Anna informs Valentine of a setback. Sunny issues a warning to Victor, as he called him.
Victor.
Lucy is critical of Brooklyn. Jordan gets new information into her investigation. Thursday, Victor tries to impress Lucy. Love us some Lucy. Liz makes a request of Kevin. Anna and Valentine have reason to worry. Maxie makes a grim realization. Carly gets bad news. So maybe that's when Carly finds out about Brandon. Anyway, Friday, Elizabeth finds a shocking clue to her past. Valentine improvises. Lucy presses Victor for answers. Nicholas seeks Alexis' advice. Sunny offers comfort.
To who?
Who knows?
Ugh.
At least it sounds like we don't have to see Spencer and Jill again for another week.
Yay!
Yeah, because there's a spoiler, not this batch. So I can actually put this in the show notes too. I get the spoilers from a spoiler account on Twitter. So I can put those in the show notes for people to get their own. I do not write these. I do not come up with these. Do not want to take credit for anybody else's work. But the next batch of spoilers dropped, and it was that Alexis and Gregory make a gruesome discovery. So it should be like another probably either death or they come upon a death. People are speculating maybe Diane. People are also speculating Schmaltz. And then yeah, we'll see.
All right. I'm not that excited, but yeah. I guess we're getting back.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, I kind of feel like we're getting back to the normal kind of shows. I do appreciate that this is the murder stuff is kind of sweepy, but it's not sweepy until we find out who it is. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
If Brando doesn't go this week, then like, what was the point?
I don't know if Brando, I don't know, because Tracy was saying that it was like rumor mill that Brando was leaving. So I don't know if he's actually going to leave. Whereas this Soaps in Debt article sounds like somebody else is actually going to get murdered. So
yeah, for sure. It definitely sounds like somebody else is getting murdered. Yeah, it definitely sounds like somebody else is getting murdered. It also sounds but Sunny reminiscing about Mike on the same day that Port Charles grieves one of their own feels like Brando's dying on Tuesday.
And maybe we'll get him Tuesday, and then Diane will be later in the week or next week. I'm really trying to trim some, and I actually like Diane, and I prefer for men to die in the show than women, but
I don't want Diane to die. I'm iffy about Brando. I don't necessarily want him to die, but Diane has more of a stake, had more of a purpose than Brando does. So
she's also the safest one. So like she has a purpose on the show and she's not who I would want to go. But I think out of the choices that they kind of represented, she would be the safest one. And if anyone touches Ava, I'm getting the ticket to California.
We will be protesting. I'll be like, sorry, Carol Fife. I know you're doing important work here in Oakland, but I gotta go to LA and protest Ava Knight.
Gotta go. I did want to pull up. I'm gonna read out. Someone reached out to me. They were, I think, upset about some things I had said about Gia last week. I think I said that Gia. What I was getting to is that I was never a fan of Nicholas and Gia, and I did not see, especially if they're gonna change Curtis to being Trina's dad, and we don't see Taggart. I didn't see a reason for Gia to come back. But they felt like Gia has a lot of ties. So I'm going to read what they said. Catching up on your podcast, and I have to say, Gia had relationships with people who are currently on screen. Carly made her the face of deception. There's Ned, Sunny. She knew Maxie, Felicia, Liz, Bobby, Laura, Mac, and Scotty. He gave her an internship in the DA's office. BOQ, Dante and Olivia are from her neighborhood in Bensonhurst. And Alexis was even her legal mentor. So there do seem to be some connections for Gia. I didn't want to read that out. I still don't want to see her, but I think that that's fair to say. I think that it's fair to say that she was like very, very connected to the canvas, and it also just reminds me like why I'm so protective of Trina as a character, because just like I just read out about Gia, like she was super connected on the canvas, and they got rid of her. We don't really talk about her. And I don't ever want that for Trina. I want her to like be a character who leaves a legacy, no matter how long she chooses to stay.
Yeah, that's interesting. As someone who liked Gia, like I don't think it would make sense right now, but point.
Yeah. Cool. Do you guys have anything before we close out?
Thanks for having me on.
Tell us where we can find you.
Yeah.
You can follow our podcast on Twitter at PC Rewind. We post every Friday when Tracy reminds us that we have a podcast that we need to post. You can find us on our Instagram at PC Rewind. You can find me on Twitter at a Barbie story. I'm pretty sure that's my name on there. But yeah, check us out.
Yes, I really enjoy what I enjoy for y'all is that there's like it's very much like a rewatch. A lot of the rewatch podcasts that are happening, so like New Girl or The Office, where there's like old Port Charles like books, and then y'all podcast about the books, and people are able to like watch along. So I highly recommend like watching that and remembering what a soap is like. And then listening to PC Rewind, which is always a joy. Thank you for being here. Next week, we are going to be deep diving into the text message killer. So if you haven't watched that arc, you should watch it on YouTube. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.